Hey everybody, it's Jesse Lewis here, and today I want to talk to you about the 7 steps to getting a great entertainer. And I am the corporate hypnotist from thecorporatehypnotist.com, and hiring a great entertainer for your function can really be a scary prospect. In fact, it can be that big old monster in the room. Event entertainment is not a fun thing to deal with sometimes. But the most important thing to keep in mind is that the success of your entertainment is directly related to the quality of your entertainer and the match of the entertainer to your audience. You have to have a good match or you don't have a good event, plain and simple. So using the following tips throughout this video are going to systematically help you secure quality entertainment for your event that will make your entertainer a successful match for your audience. The very first thing you need to do is determine the needs of your audience. What are they? You know, entertainment can add a lot to your event. It can help your guests to relax and enjoy themselves. In addition, providing entertainment can really make your message and objectives of the event be heard. You need to consider, is there a goal or a message for the function or event that you want your guests to take home? Or perhaps the function is to show appreciation for exceptional performance and increased profits throughout the year. Maybe it's to discuss the latest trends in your industry or to focus on specific objectives for the upcoming quarter. You should determine the needs of your event and the needs of your audience, whether it's to purely entertain them or to support a message throughout your event. A good entertainer is going to be able to customize that message to their own materials to really fit with your message and the message you want that your guests should take home. The next thing you need to do is determine a time, budget, and date. And there's really a really easy way to maximize this stuff. So what your budget for entertainment for your event is going to be really depends on the overall budget for the event. You should know, at least approximately, going in, that your budget for entertainment is set. You should also have the date of the event, at least the approximate date, before you gather information on your entertainer. This will save you a great deal of time from having to review and consider entertainers that are out of your budget or under your budget. In essence, those ones are the ones that are lesser quality, and entertainers that are already booked up as well. You don't want to waste your time. The third thing you need to do is to identify the type of entertainment that would most likely match your goals for the event and what would be most valuable to achieve those needs. So unique and corporate content should always be priorities with any type of entertainment you consider, but there's obviously many different types of entertainment available. Maybe you want a novelty act. Maybe you want someone like me who's a hypnotist. Would your entertainment, do you need it to be unobtrusive, such as like a handwriting analyst or a tarot card reading that sits in the back of the room and just does one-on-one individual stuff? Or would you prefer a after dinner or stage show? Maybe you want what's called atmosphere entertainment, which is like human statues and people doing magic throughout the room. Depending on your message and the needs of your audience, you need to decide what form of entertainment is going to work best for your group and what works best for your audience. The next thing you need to consider is, of course, finding your entertainer. And you could be just like Sherlock Holmes. There's a lot of different places that you can find entertainers. Meeting planner companies, entertainment agencies. These are all excellent resources for finding entertainers. In addition, entertainers can be found online, in the phone book, on the web, and the best place that I find where I find entertainers that I like to refer out is from people who I've worked with before. So talk to your colleagues or any associations that you're in and see if there's any referrals that you could get for your entertainment needs. Once you have those, once you've found them, you need to make your initial contact. And you're probably thinking, oh, this is the worst part of it. And it actually is. But when you hire a professional entertainer, they're going to ask you questions regarding the needs and the needs of your audience and what your goals are for their event. In just a couple of minutes, they should be able to let you know if they feel their services would be beneficial to your event. You need to be cautious about the entertainer that doesn't have any interest in determining those objectives. You see, lots of entertainers are just going to want to send you promotional material without first determining your objectives. Well, not every entertainer is right for your event. For instance, when you call me on the phone, I'm going to ask you about 15 or so questions normally to get a good feel for your event. Generally, I'm going to ask you first, well, what can you tell me about your event? And generally, you're going to answer probably 5 or 6 of those questions. But I like to dig a little deeper. You see, the professional entertainer is not going to waste your time considering his services or her services if they're not right for your event. The professional entertainer is going to turn down any programs that aren't suited to them because they know more than anybody else what type of events they're good for. So a person like me will not risk an unsuccessful event just for the money, just to go out and do that event. You see, a professional entertainer like me wants you to have a great event, and I want to make sure that I have a great event as well. It's the easiest way to prevent having a bad name in this industry. The amateur entertainer, on the other hand, is not going to have the experience to explore your needs or the experience to really determine what will help make your event successful. They're going to accept anything that comes their way with no regard for the consequences. And after briefly discussing your event with a professional, and if you both feel there's a possibility that it's a good match between entertainer and event, well, the entertainer should be sending you out promotional materials for your consideration. In my case, I like to send out a full proposal for your event. And that's what you get. You get a full proposal and a full promotional package, and you should be able to get that. Which brings us into the next point, which is selecting your entertainer. There's a few things that you should consider when you hire your entertainer in the first place. Did they include reference letters with that promo pack? Testimonials? Are they easy to get a hold of? Do they return your calls if they're not in the office? And if they do, is it in a reasonable amount of time? Is it within a day? Generally, in my business, I like to return calls within 4 hours of the call, guaranteed. If you phone my office, you're either going to get someone who picks up the phone, or the message is going to tell you that we'll return your call within 2 hours. And we will return your call within 2 hours. You have to ask yourself as well, do these people conduct themselves in a professional manner? Do they belong to any professional associations like their local chamber of commerce or meeting planner groups or anything like that? What's the legal structure of their business? Do they actually have a legal structure in their business? A successful entertainer is going to actually have a business, whereas an amateur is not going to have a business. One way to tell whether they actually have a business is if they have a tax number. Where I'm from in Canada, we have to collect GST for all the events we do. So I have a tax number because I'm an actual business. And you have to be a business to have a tax number. Here, anyway. The 7th step, of course, is contracting that entertainer. And this isn't difficult, but you should always receive a contract outlining the following things. The first thing is the date of your event. The second, the time the entertainer is to perform. Both the actual show time and the length of the performance. Where the event is going to take place. The city or town, the venue, and also if there is a specific room. How about production requirements? Does this entertainer have a performance rider? Many entertainers don't, and depending on the entertainer and the type of event you have, a performance rider may or may not be necessary. For me, lots of the time, when I'm doing local shows, I bring my own equipment. Other times, when I'm flying places, quite often, I will ask that they fulfill my performance rider, which is pretty basic for me. I just need good sound equipment and 15 to 30 chairs. It's pretty easy. They should also have the fee for the show and the deposit requirements. Also, any travel or hotel fees, if they're applicable, and of course, a cancellation policy. If there's any item that you're not certain about on that contract, do not hesitate to ask that entertainer. Oftentimes, many entertainers will have weird things in their contract. And if that's the case, that's the sign of a rank amateur or somebody who has a really big name in the business. You know, following the above rules, the previous rules throughout this video for hiring entertainment is really going to make the process easier. I hope you've enjoyed it. And you can rest assured that once you follow these rules, you have hired a quality professional that is a good match for your audience, that's going to contribute to the overall success of your event and really create an event that's unforgettable for your guests. My name's Jesse Lewis. I'm from thecorporatehypnotist.com with dashes in between each word. Have an absolutely wonderful day. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email, give me a phone call. Talk to you later. Bye.